And I called my stockbroker, who I had just started trying to invest with at the time. And I said, we just had this guy in, Jeff Bezos with Amazon.com. And I said, there's just something about this that I get. I want to put a little bit of money into this. And he laughed. He said, oh, geez, no. Their price to earnings ratio. No. Yeah, no, you can't do that. No way.
Who would you want to host on your podcast or your TV show?
Like guests?
Yes. Who are your top guests?
Here's the thing, and it drives people nuts when they ask me of like, who would you like to interview? And I always say the next interesting person. I've sat down with, I mean, this isn't a name dropping show, but I've sat down with the biggest names there are. I've sat down with Oprah Winfrey. I've chatted with Hugh Jackman. I've been with Ryan Reynolds. I've sat with Jennifer Aniston and had a great chat with her. And Morgan Freeman and I have had cocktails, and Charlize Theron and I have had cocktails, and Sam Elliott and I have had cocktails. And, they're just really interesting people. And in every one of those situations, I always get, well, who's been the nicest? Who's been the worst? They've all been fantastic. Yes, they're working, they're doing press, but there's only so much of that you can fake, even if you are an Academy Award-winning actor. And it's a matter of what you bring to it. So I know that I bring something to it that they're feeling good about and comfortable about. But whether it would be Charlize or Oprah, or it would be Barack Obama to come in and join me on the podcast, that'd be awesome. But I also want to talk to the next person who's sitting there stirring that idea, like Jeff Bezos was here in Seattle back in, the early 90s, in the mid 90s. And, to be able to realize that moment and say, hey, wait a second here. And I say that because I remember working at Como Radio, and it was in the mid late 90s. It was after Amazon had put their stock out, which I think was about $18 a share. It's now trading at about $2,300 a share. If you would have put $1,000 in then, you would have $1.5 million now. I say that because that hurts. Jeff Bezos came a few blocks away into our radio station and went on with our midday person who was doing a talk show. Not a huge talk show, not highly rated, but Jeff Bezos was out pushing this little idea of his bookstore, his online bookstore. And I remember him coming in, hearing his signature laugh, and listening to this interview just like, like a cocked head, like I'm just like, you're in church and the pastor's just like pulling you in. I'm like, oh, I get this. I totally get. I know why they're calling it Amazon. Everybody else is like, why are they calling it Amazon? Because it's going to have everything in the jungle. It's going to have everything. And I remember sitting there and it's just like, wow, this guy is fascinating. And I called my stockbroker, who I had just started trying to invest with at the time. And I said, we just had this guy in, Jeff Bezos with Amazon.com. Of course, there were all these .coms at the time, especially in Seattle. And I said, there's just something about this that I get. I want to put a little bit of money into this. I was making $27,000 a year at the time. I don't know. It was like I wasn't going to have a lot of money to put in. And he laughed. He said, oh, geez, no. Their price to earnings ratio. No. Yeah, no, you can't do that. No way. Lesson learned. But the story there is that it's like, here's this guy who came through who wasn't anybody really. So I'm not selective on who I want to talk to next.